The former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai is not out of the woods yet in his battle with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. The commission extended his detention over allegations bordering on a 432 billion naira fraud investigation. As the detention enters the third day, El-Rufai's legal team has pushed for his bail, stating that he is a man of integrity. Amid the unfolding legal process, a former managing director of the news agency of Nigeria, Akin Osuntokun, has cautioned El-Rufai over what he described as transferred aggression directed at the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu. Osuntokun, who described El-Rufai's public comment as a dangerous obsession, said the comment is an attempt to deflect scrutiny from issues arising from his tenure as governor of Kaduna State. Okay, gentlemen, two stories in one, but let's start with Akin Osuntokun. I mean, in your opinion, what actions by Nasir El-Rufai led Akin Osuntokun to conclude that this is a devious transferred aggression rather than a legitimate political criticism?
No, because at every opportunity, he takes on El-Rufai, Nuhu Ribadu. Nuhu Ribadu has been reluctant to respond, but at every opportunity, he attacks this man. The other day, he said Nuhu Ribadu wants to destroy every northerner to make it possible for him to become president in 2020 or 31. So he just felt that, look, this is just too much. You're attacking one person all the time. You see him as the person who ensured that you are not confirmed by the Senate. And for that reason, you just, at every opportunity, you want to attack Nuhu Ribadu. And these were people who used to be good friends. Yes. And in fact, they all worked for Olusegun Obasanjo. Akin Osuntokun was political advisor.
Okay.
Nuhu Ribadu was EFCC chair. Nasir El-Rufai was minister. So he can't understand this obsession. Look at, just listen to him, because he's a man who has a way with the English language. He said a dangerous obsession lacking justification, and that he was trying to deflect scrutiny from issues arising from his tenure in Kaduna State. He then accused El-Rufai of deploying a Goebbelish strategy of muddling the waters. You know, Goebbels is seen as the father of propaganda. So, and World War II. Goebbelish strategy of muddling the waters, you know, meaning that he just wants to dabaru everything. Then he also accused him of resorting to kangaroo debate gimmickry. He said, for instance, what has Ribadu got to do with a June 2024 report by the Kaduna State House of Assembly accusing his government of mismanaging 432.2 billion? So he asked the question. And I think that even for some of the people that they used to work together, that they were pals in their administration, some of them are finding this embarrassing. Every time it's the NSA, you picking on the NSA, you accuse them the other day of paying money to bandits. But even you paid money to terrorists now, according to you, to get them to stop killing people in Kaduna State. This is what you two had done before. This is what you had done before. They can play back those videos where you justify paying them. And there are people who argue that even when those guys were paid, they were not persuaded to give up their killing campaign, that they merely used the money to go and buy more weapons. So I just think, those are other people are saying, that he should focus on clearing his name.
Yes.
Because there are so many people who respect him, who honor him. But they believe that at this time, he should not just be attacking Nuhu Ribadu, he should focus on clearing his name. And it's the same thing that Akim Baba Ahmed.
Okay, Baba
He's
Ahmed,
saying that, look, this is a man difficult to advise. But if he had his way, we'll tell him, look, leave Nuhu Ribadu alone. No matter how you try to damage Nuhu Ribadu, Bola Tinubu will not remove him. Bola Tinubu will not remove him. Even after the attack, Bola Tinubu went to Yola to go and sing Nuhu Ribadu's praises.
Yes.
At a time when you are trying to diminish him before his countrymen. And some people are arguing, again, very banal argument that if it was possible to tap his phone call, then that means he is not competent. So you are now blaming the victim for something that is against our laws. Somebody had his privacy breached. You are now blaming that person and saying that for his privacy to be breached in the way they did, he must be incompetent. Come on. I mean, sometimes we read these things, we just shake our heads at what's going on. Yes, is it his fault?
It's his fault.
Anybody can have, what's going on? You know, so I think I agree that he has to focus more on defending himself because, look, a name that he has built over the years, he should not just allow people to damage his name in a very flippant manner. Sure. He has to find a way to defend himself. Defend himself. Show that he ran Kaduna the right way, competently, and that during his time, this quantum of money was not stolen. Because it doesn't have to be stolen by him.
Okay, it could be.
If it was stolen by some of the people who worked with him, the question would then be asked, how come he permitted this level of stealing? And even his competence, his stewardship will be called to question.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, if you had a place where people had a laissez-faire attitude to stealing, it will call to question your own competence as a leader. Because a leader must not permit such nonsense to happen. So I think he has to focus
on it. Now, the other side of this conversation, the EFCC, they're extending, his stay with him. But we want to know, why is the EFCC extending Malam Nasir El-Rufai's detention after voluntarily honoring the EFCC invitation?
You know, for the fact that EFCC has not spoken, I'm not going to be, I'm not going to be outsourced to be their spokesperson. But basically, what should be going on, what I perceive is going on, is the fact that, interrogation can take a number of days, and these are things that is been in the pipeline all the while. They even invited him before he traveled, so we don't know how far they've gone in getting the information they need. And as far as the normal 2 days statutory is concerned, it's for us to now know whether they are going to, ask the court for him to be remanded. But for now, being in EFCC custody is not out of place. It's just for him to answer the necessary questions. Now, and I think one of the things EFCC is also trying to do is to avoid this media trial. Yes. Let them do their job. Let them get their investigation. So what we want to see in the media is that, okay, we are hungry, we want to know what is going on, but then let EFCC do their job.
Because he has actually denied wrongdoing. But if all of this wrongdoing is proven, what precedent does this set for accountability of former state executives?
Because no, it's not even precedent. It's consistency that we want, because he's not the first person to be brought to trial. Even the other day, Darius Ishaku, former governor, they also brought him. So we need accountability. A lot of who have given up on our country is because they think, look, people do what they like in our country and get away with it. Look at even Chinese coming to steal mineral resources in our country, and they believe that they will not go to jail, nothing will happen. But we are seeing the EFCC under Ola not just jailing foreigners like Chinese, but having them deported. This was not happening before. So these people felt, okay, they can do what they like in our country, that everybody has a price. They will bribe our traditional rulers, and they will allow them to be mining and damaging the environment. Look at Chinese going to Osun State to go and damage the environment while mining gold. And I sent a team to go and do the story. They sent thugs after our crew. They had to run away from the scene. You know? So we need accountability. People will have greater faith in our country when they can see that those who steal from our patrimony do not get away with what they have done.
Sure.
When they get away with what they have done, more people get encouraged to do what they have done. You have to show people suffer for stealing. Money that is they should have used to sink boreholes. One person will just take all the money and they live a life of luxury. They don't care about the rest of us. So it has to stop.
All right, gentlemen, we have Yakub calling in. Yakub, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Haji Yakub.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, we can hear you perfectly.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, sir. Then good evening, Babajide. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
And then the other gentleman in the studio. Good evening. My name is Yakub.
Good evening.
Because precisely. Because of the time, I just want to talk about Governor Slough. As Mr. Babajide said earlier, I'm sure the other governors, especially in our southwest here, they are watching this man. I'm not surprised because there's a time Mr. Babajide read this man, in terms of Governor Slough, what he stands for. If you can imagine the people waiting to collect these things, you can imagine the joy on their faces. I've never seen a governor in Southwest giving a lot of something like this to our people. It has never happened. I'm sure they have seen this man, and then I cannot also wait after 2030 for this man to become president. I'm trying to, because after President Ashwat Bola Ahmed Tinubu second time, this man will be good for this country as the president, not even vice president. Good evening once again. God bless you guys.
All right, good evening. Good evening. Okay, but his lawyer is now pushing for bail.
Yeah.
But looking at all of the allegations, do you think most of these things are bailable?
No, they are. It's not. He has not committed murder.
His passport has been seized, so it's not a flight risk, and he can definitely get a bail. I don't think it's not unbailable.
He deserves bail. He deserves bail.
So what is most important, like you said, is let's have a watertight investigation. Let's not just have bogus, long list of, count charge, and we can't, make sense of it.
So prove the allegations.
So, because when you hear Nigerians say things like, it's one of those things, some of us disagree, because if you look at the list of EFCC, especially this current guy, there's been a lot of successes.
Yes.
There are some follow-through.
They are doing a much better investigation.
Watertight investigation. So I just feel we should let it be.
And I think this investigation has been going on for maybe close to a year.
Yes, it's
over a year. Over a year.
And it's also a big lesson for anybody who is in office to know that, hey, there will be a day when this immunity is taken away.
Yes.
And you have to answer the question.
So you that you are slamming people in jail, one day your
time will come.
Exactly.
One day there will be role reversal.
That's true.
And then you find yourself
in
detention too. You also lose your freedom. So that's the thing, and I think that nobody is bigger than the state.
That's true.
Nobody is above the law. We must show that nobody is above the law. The reason many people think that we are not a country that works for everyone is the swagger with which rogues move around in our country, believing that nothing can happen to them. They can't go to jail. They should go to jail.
They should.
They should go to jail. A whole former prime minister was jailed in Israel. It's happening in other places. That you've been president does not mean that you cannot go to jail. People should be able to go to jail when they have committed infractions against their country. Nobody should be. If you are a journalist you committed an offense, you should go to jail, no matter the color of tie that you are wearing. You must go to jail.
Who attacks the tie again?
Or the color of cap that you are wearing.
Or no matter where you got your suit from.
Who attacks the tie again? All right, gentlemen.
You're taking the bullet direct.
Go to jail.
Absolutely.